Hey everyone, welcome to Ninja Monkey. I know my background is a little bit different today, but I've got some works going on in the house, so this is it. For anybody who's joining us today, I just want to give you a quick reminder. I'm Ninja Monkey. I am a tourist that travels to Japan multiple times a year. My name's Nathan, and this Sunday stream is here to help you answer your Japan travel questions. So if you have any questions related to Japan or simply want to hang out and listen to something, then you're very, very much welcome. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for your support starting from the very, very start. Also, just a quick reminder that if you do want to get my attention, then you can write question or at Ninja Monkey Guy to get my attention. Super chats and members and patrons will get priority as always, as you guys support the channel, and it's actually the way that things keep on, like the channel survives thanks to you guys. So yeah, awesome. I know it's been a little bit of a short notice kind of stream, but we're here and I'm happy. So let's get started. Japan, Japan, Ichiban. Yo, yo, Japan, Japan, Ichiban. Thanks so much for being here. Short notice. I know it's been a crazy weekend. It's been my nephew's birthday, 18th birthday, and also a friend's birthday today. So I escaped the birthday gathering to make it to the stream. Belgium Nomad, how are you doing? I'm getting excited. Flying out next week. Gatwick, Shanghai, Fukuoka. What? Awesome. Air China cheap but scary as usual. They cancelled my original flight via Beijing. Would have meant 19-hour layover. Wow, 19 hours. But would that giving you the opportunity to explore Beijing? Because that would have been pretty cool too. Hello from early morning Sydney. Hey go under down under. Very early morning, I'm sure. Well, it's 9, just gone past 9:30 p.m. nighttime. So konbanwa, ohayo gozaimasu, and konnichiwa to everyone. Tarian Jenkins, hello. How was your last trip? And why not many live streamed? I actually live streamed nearly every day when I was there. And Tarian, maybe this is a perfect opportunity to remind you and to remind viewers like yourself that I actually have two channels. Ninja Monkey, where I do a lot of like curated like stuff, and I have Happy Gaijin, which is my second channel where I streamed quite a bit there. I was actually alternating. I was doing one stream Ninja Monkey, one stream Happy Gaijin, and so on, more or less. Tommy Tran, how you doing? And we have Cliff here, as always. All the usual suspects. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Stevie, how you doing? PS Prog, all good. And am I in Japan right now? Right now, I am not in Japan, unfortunately. Very much unfortunately. But I've just come back from Japan a week ago. Just under a week ago, to be honest. This time last week, I would have been probably flying on my way or nearly on my way to Japan, to back home from Japan. Gerald, hello. Hello, Nathan and all. Hello, how are you doing? Ninja Tiger. Yes. Hanshin Tigers forever. Dawn Music. How much Japanese would you recommend for your first time trip to Japan? That's a very good question, Dawn Music. I actually have two videos that I put together with my friend Oriental Pearl, who is a master of languages. So she's definitely the best host or the best guest for that video. Check those two videos out. But I would say that really, surprisingly, you don't need as much Japanese as you might think that you do. However, I would highly suggest that you do learn some basics, especially counting and some basic words, obviously being polite, arigato gozaimasu, that kind of thing, like, thank you, and sumimasen for excuse me, and the counting is very important. But there are some other things that might make things super, super convenient. Knowing the word kore, which is that, kore, I'm pointing, kore, Got it, that, please. Got it, onegaishimasu, please. That might get you a very, 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 very far, surprisingly. Let's see. Hello, how is everyone? Rafael, I think everyone's really good. Hiroshima or Okinawa? I can't decide which place to visit in November. Oh, you know what? Okinawa is absolutely beautiful. I guess it depends on what you want to do. Um, they both have very different, unique, things going for them. So yeah, and also depends what part of Okinawa. Okinawa is a chain of islands, lots of different islands to check out. Thanks for the link, Japan, Japan, and Japan. The weather was amazing when we went. Awesome. Already miss it. I know, right? Tarian was looking for a second channel but forgot the name. Maybe I'll go check it out. Thanks, Japan. Thanks so much, Tarian. Check it out. Subscribe. Have the bell notification because over the summer when I am in Japan, I'm gonna be doing most of my streaming there on Happy Gaijin, mostly. So thanks, Japan. You're a star. Great mod. Definitely making my trip way longer next time round. Yeah. Every time you go to Japan, you sort of feel, I should have stayed a little bit longer. I should have stayed a little bit longer, right? It's what happens. You don't need much Japanese, just smile. Indeed. I think obviously knowing some basic Japanese will help, will really, really help. I think Japanese people generally appreciate when you try to speak in Japanese. It makes things, it bridges that connection with them. However, you don't necessarily have to have a full on conversation with Japanese people when you're there if you don't know Japanese. But if you know the basics, a few little things here and there, pick a few things up. And I have those two videos that Japan and Japan has just shared on the chat. Um, those two videos will get you very, very far. Surprisingly far, actually. So, Sumima story. Nearly. Hello, everyone. ChatGPT is also very good at giving basic phrases to use in Japan that can help out. Yeah, use whatever you want, whatever you can to help you out. However, what I've learned through many years and many trips of traveling to Japan is that what you think you need, you might not need. And many like language programs and books and things you will surprisingly not use much of it. Like even the introductions, which is usually like how you start. I remember I once went to a Japanese lesson years ago, and they did the whole Hajime mashite, yoroshiku onegaishimasu, and the self introduction. Watashi wa Nathan desu, hajime mashite, yoroshiku onegaishimasu, nice to meet you, etc. And to be honest, as a tourist, I don't think I've had to use that very often at all. I've probably used gore like pointing like a gazillion times more than a self introduction. Nihongo hanase skoshi goes down well. I know a little Japanese. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The wanting to stay longer thing is very, very, very real indeed. It's what happens. It's what happens. Hi Nathan, hi everyone. We are booking our Japan trip really soon. What? Awesome. Hope to stay in a smoke-free hotel near Ueno. I've never had any problems. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I have had some minor problems of not being able to get smoke-free rooms, but usually these have been in very specific circumstances where I've been wanting to go to a Matsuri, a festival, or an event, and there aren't, everything is sold out, and I've had to basically stay in a smoking room. But generally, I think filters are your best friend, and not only filters like in Booking.com or Hotels.com or Expedia, but make sure that your final step when you're choosing your room is a smoke-free room. There isn't much. I don't think that finding a smoke-free room is going to be a problem at all. At all. I freeze out when people talk to me in Japanese. That is a very real problem. It happens to me too. I've recently flown through both Shanghai and Beijing. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, let Japanese people know. And also, Cliff Dog there was also giving some information there. If you want to pick up how to read kana, Duolingo is very good for that. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I said, I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I'm not a language channel. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend, what's the best way to learn Japanese or what you need to know. But I'm gonna talk to you about my experience personally and my experience with hiragana and katakana, which I would say I'm not a master of, but I'm good enough to sort of, stare at and figure out what hiragana and katakana is saying. My experience was literally sitting down with a hiragana and katakana chart and learning it across 2 days. I probably learned it all across 2 days through writing it out repetitively, and having some flashcards. I probably did it across 2 days max. I don't think hiragana, especially hiragana, is too difficult. Katakana can get a little bit more complicated, but generally you'll be able to learn hiragana, katakana. However, the question is, do you even need hiragana and katakana as a tourist? If anything, maybe katakana would be a little bit more useful. But like I said, I'm not a language channel, so Nightbot, damn it! What's going on with Nightbot? It's so true, damn it! This is gonna be an ongoing joke, I think. There, Alan. I can count, introduce myself, ask for directions, tell the time, and some other short sentences. Well, Belgium, I think that you are probably 90% better than anybody else. So well done. Good thing knowing how to say I don't understand wakaranai or wakarimasen. Yeah, those are good. Hey, how you doing? Just roaming around. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. Yeah. Ninja Monkey, unfortunately, when I booked, the only dates I could get off work were early May. So I'm going at the end of this week and we'll be there for 2 weeks. Osaka, Nara, and Kyoto for Golden Week. You know what? Don't stress. I made a video about the whole Golden Week thing. And I think that, I've said it a gazillion times. Going to Japan is better than not going just to Japan, regardless. Just tweak and make the most of the situation that you're in. Obviously, Golden Week and some other, Obon and maybe even New Year's might not be the best time to go to Japan, but it doesn't mean it's not a time to go to Japan, if that makes any sense. Good izakaya you could recommend in Osaka or Tokyo. Oh my goodness, Dawn Music. There are so many izakayas. I think that just walking around and finding an izakaya will it's going to be very unlikely that you're not going to be able to find a good izakaya. If you want to find like a really easy izakaya like style thing, it's not quite izakaya, then Torikozoku is probably a good one to start with English menus, etc. Jim Ross is in the house with his magic wand. I imagine Jim Ross with a magic wand. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your donation there. And I think that I can even do the confetti this time. Arigatou gozaimasu, Jim-san. Arigatou gozaimasu. Oh, wait a minute, because I have something this time. Okay, you're gonna see nothing. You're gonna see my sofa, but I'm gonna get something. Okay. So, guys, I thought that it would be fun whenever somebody donated. I want to introduce you to potentially something that we could use. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Super chats now get a random little thing. You go, I'm okay with katakana and hiragana, but kanji is the bane of existence. So kanji is a bane of even Japanese people's existence, I think. Question: I'm flying from Dallas, Texas to Tokyo tomorrow morning. What? Awesome. And eventually going to Osaka and Hiroshima the 28th through the 11th. What advice do you have sightseeing while avoiding large crowds? Ooh, that's a good question. I think that when it comes to avoiding large crowds, there, Wi-Fi addict, it's all about timing. Um, Getting to places, if depending on the type of place, like for example Asakusa, the temple complex there, if you go there early, you get pretty much no tourists. As from like 9:30, 10 onwards, things get very busy. The same in the evening. That would be my big tip. Try to get to things early rather than later. Nightbot is definitely on holiday. I don't know where Nightbot has ended up. I think some reading was cool, like I could pick up on the Japanese menus. Yeah. Yeah, katakana because of the loan word, I would say. Not always English. PS Prague, other non-Japanese languages are also used for katakana. That's right. It's just for borrowed words. It doesn't even have to be. Carlos Rodriguez question: how come you are so awesome? What? I'm not that awesome. Been to all prefectures and still giving free weekly advice. Well, if I can try and help people have a great trip, then why not? And it's not just me; it's all of you guys in the chat that help out. I think there are some questions that I can't answer, but you can. This is what I love about this community. We have aficionados, who are really into trains and transport and interesting, quirky like transport modes. And then we have people who are really foodies, and then there's people that are just. So we have loads of different types of people here that can answer questions differently. Jennifer French, Genki, I'm going to Japan in 5 weeks. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you too. Jennifer, yay. Thank you so much. As Japan has said, thank you so much for the donation. In exactly 5 weeks from now, I will be in the air and landing 3 hours and 15 minutes. Dreaming, dreaming. Cowboy hats. Show your support for Jim Ross there with the cowboy hats. Isomaru Suisan for seafood. Are flights always 2 times the price at Christmas? I just did a Skyscanner check for this year's, and they're all 1,000 plus, normally 500 to 900 from the UK. PS Prague. Um, I don't know. I mean, I usually travel just after Christmas, to be honest. On the Boxing Days, usually when I travel to Japan. And from my experience, is that flights are usually about the same price. It might be a matter of just timing for those flights. But maybe Christmas is generally high season for flights. But I haven't seen a £500 flight or even a 900 pound flight from the UK in about 5 years. Well, yeah, in about 5 years. At least maybe 900 perhaps, but I've definitely not seen a £500 flight from the UK. I would definitely not say normally £500. Those were the good old days when things used to be. You used to be able to find flights at that price point. I highly recommend not to book too many things. It makes you feel like you're on some sort of schedule you have to follow, and quite constricting. Walking around and discovering things is the best way, in my opinion. I think, Raphael, you have sort of a point, but at the same time, I think that it's good to have some kind of a structure, and having some booked activities, maybe not every day, but throughout your trip, will mean that you don't miss out on certain things because there are quite a lot of things nowadays that you do need to pre-book, you know. But I do highly recommend getting lost and discovering things for yourself. I absolutely agree there. Hey, Jim Ross again. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. We've got a little friend here. Jim Ross. I bought a wand at Harry Potter in Tokyo and thought that was stupid until I saw what showed whatever that was. I'm just making up for those in Nippon like Frog Lady and Lord Ma. Arigato, dude. Thank you so much for your support there. Hey, Rebecca, how are you doing? Me and my friends are setting off on Saturday. Wow. Excitement levels must be building. I mean, I'm going back in July and I'm already excited. So I came in just as you were mentioning Golden Week. We're heading there in the middle of it. Golden Week this year runs from when? So Golden Week this year from April 29th, so basically now, to May the 5th. So basically, just be aware that those sort of dates until May the 5th, and May the 5th falls on what day? May the 5th is a Monday. So I would say that you should be pretty safe after May the 5th. You should be fine after May the 5th, basically. So, roughly. 漢字は本当に難しいですね。ですね。Question. Leaving in 3 weeks, do you need a Japan number to make reservations at restaurants? Generally, you should be able to use your hotel's concierge to make reservations on your behalf. And I can tell you that I travel without a Japanese phone number. I've been traveling without a Japanese phone number for the last 11 years, and I've been able to figure out ways around everything. So don't stress too much. Automaton, I know, right? I like your Hanshin Tigers baseball jersey. Yeah. Memories, memories, indeed. If you have a membership, you can show off some of those cool emojis that we have. I really should change my name. PS Prog is short for PlayStation Programmer. Okay. PlayStation Programmer. Tommy Tran says, "Hey Nathan, I'm scoping out a solo trip to Japan. Run out of friends who want to go to Japan. That can happen. Any advice on trying to book cheaper hotels as I used to book Airbnbs with friends, which was much cheaper?" Yeah, Tommy, I think that if you want to obviously not stay in, well, I mean, it depends on your style, but if you stay like in youth hostels, then that's gonna keep prices down. Personally, I think that as a solo traveler, business hotels are your best, your best bet. And obviously, booking in advance is going to be your best bet too, for keeping prices down. There are various things that you can do. You can actually become like members of the loyalty program of certain hotels. For example, Toyoku Inn, that hotel chain. After a certain amount of stays, you get a free stay. The same with Appa. If you become a member after a certain amount of stays, you also get a free stay. But I'm not very sure if you can actually become a member online. You'd have to check that out. But definitely business hotels. Appa can be relatively cheap, and also Toyoku Inn can be relatively cheap too. My flight next week is £580, was 490, but I paid extra to go via Beijing. Air China cancelled it, so I ended up on the Shanghai one. Ooh. I mean, that's very rare, to be honest. So, what are your top must-have apps when traveling around Japan? Well, finally you said that, but I have an apps video, and I'd say that Google Maps is definitely my on my top list of traveling around Japan. I don't think I could travel around Japan without Google Maps. To be honest, that would be my number one top app there. You must live in London. Most of the UK doesn't. I mean, to be honest, Japan, I keep tabs on flights quite a lot, even from London, and anything £500 like that is very, very, very rare, or you have to be incredibly flexible. The average nowadays is way more than that. But hey, good for him being able to get a cheap flight like that, right? I live near Brum. I have to stay in Croydon the night before. I flied from Birmingham, Birmingham, right? On one of my trips last year. More convenient, but £900 plus. Wow. London gets cheap flights. Manchester is even more expensive than Midlands. Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. I heard you need a reservation for a restaurant. How much in advance do I need to make them? Dawn Music. You don't. Well, it depends. First of all, it depends on the restaurant. Obviously, if you want to eat at a very, very specific restaurant, then you might want to make a reservation. There's lots of factors that you need to also consider, such as how big is your group size, right? Because if you have a very big, party of people traveling together, then you probably do want to make a reservation because you won't all fit in the restaurant. But generally, if a restaurant has a reservation system, there will be a list when you get to the restaurant. There will be a you can write your name down, and you'll be list. You just wait your turn. It's very very common in Japan to sit. They have some seating, and you wait your turn. It's very very common to do that. Gabriel, thank you so much for a little super chat there. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Let me see. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Thanks. And obviously, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank. I still haven't got the hang of it. To be honest, I think it's a little bit broken and it's brand new. Because my thought is that it makes a sound when you press the mouth, but it stays making anyway. It's fun. A musical's perv. Oh, business hotels indeed. And Google Translate, yeah, I guess so. Google Translate too, yeah. Hello, Gabriel. Hello from Costa Rica. What you haven't found in Tokyo that you would like to find? What haven't I found in Tokyo? I think it's a city where you will find everything personally. So what have I not found in Tokyo that I would like to find? I'm gonna have to keep that in my mind, in the back of my mind, because, like I said, it's a city where you'll be able to find everything. London gets cheap flights for sure. Was surprised I couldn't find one sub 1,000 for Christmas. We'll keep looking. Hey, Vault Boy, how are you doing? Monkey San, indeed, I am Monkey San. Smart EX and Ekinet are also important apps. Um, Maybe. I guess that it all depends on how you travel. Personally, I have booked some of my my tickets, my train tickets via Smart EX, etc. But to be honest, I'm still, even though I travel so much to Japan, I'm still the kind of guy who knows when he's gonna travel, has everything sort of semi-planned, and I simply go to the ticket booth and I get, my tickets in advance from the ticket booth from a person. Sometimes they've even given me some alternative like ways to get to my destination that not even Google Maps had considered, or Navitime had considered. So it's surprised, not super often, but it's happened a few times when maybe, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe Google hasn't been fully up to date, and I've ended up getting via a different route that I hadn't considered, which is pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for the donation, Gabriel. Much appreciated. Vote boy, is weather more pleasant in September or October? I would say probably October. September, you're still pretty much in the tail end of the typhoon season, and also, as the past few years will tell us, September is still very hot, and October starts cooling down. I'm taking my sister to Japan this year. It's my third year, but my sister is going for the first time. Lucky sister, Volt Boy. Can I become your brother and you can take me? Awesome. Suica, if you have an iPhone. That I wouldn't say it's necessarily an app. I have Suica on on my Apple Wallet. Sakura Mobile has SIM with Japanese phone numbers for $50 Canadian, and you can follow plan for about five a month. I didn't use it much, but I did need it, so it works for me. Ooh, I didn't even know that. So 10 days to your next trip. Nagoya, Aichi, Hokuriku, Tokyo this time. Sounds like a great trip there, actually. The Hokuriku pass, if you use it to travel around that region, is wow, pretty good. Bom Bom, when is the best time to order a place to stay in Shibuya or near? We are going in April next year. I have stayed in Asakusa two times now. Okay, Bom Bom, first of all, staying in Shibuya is very expensive generally, and I would say you need to book anything, as from 6 months is when the rooms sort of become available in listing. Some people make the mistake of trying to book their hotels, 7, 8, 9 months in advance, and they get ridiculous prices, and they don't get many listings. The reason is that many hotels, they release those listings 6 months before the dates. And that doesn't mean the start date, but it also means the end date. So if you're gonna want to stay somewhere for 2 weeks, then you need to book them up to 6 months before the end date, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna have nightmares about that thing. You're welcome. You are welcome. A Japanese wife? What? Oh, Ghibli or Ghibli or Ghibli? I say Ghibli. Ghibli or Ghibli? How do you say Ghibli? I say Ghibli too. Important question. That was. I did like having the Shinkansen ticket linked to my Suica. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, but it also depends. When you start traveling super extensively, there are only certain stations actually where certain lines and routes where the Smart X actually works. I don't think it works in Tohoku, for example, up north. I don't think it works in Kyushu, if I remember right. Got tickets for Ghibli Park. I have 3 films haven't seen yet, so catching up. Awesome, exciting. Maku, how are you doing? Going to Tokyo and Kyoto from May the 21st to June the 8th. Nice. How much rain should I expect during the time on average? Do I need to carry an umbrella daily? Does it go from sunny to rainy often? I would say that around, well, I'm not very sure, to be honest, but I would say that in terms of an umbrella, you don't have to worry too much because umbrellas are pretty much available in every single convenience store. Many stores sell umbrellas. If you find that you need to buy an umbrella, you just buy one. They're relatively cheap. They can be as cheap as 400, 500 yen at convenies, and you can just purchase them as you need. I don't carry an umbrella with me to Japan. I just purchase one when and if I need it. What I do like to carry is a disposable waterproof like rain jacket that can live in my bag and I can just pop out in an emergency situation. That's something that I always have in my bag during, like the rainy period, which can even include the summer because of typhoons. Generally, I think like everything is very, very difficult to know exactly what weather weather conditions are going to be like. If there's anything that we've learned is climate change is sort of changing everything. My suggestion is just keep an eye on the weather forecast a week or a few days before you start packing to see, what and how the weather's going to be. When I've been there during rainy season in the past, it hasn't rained every single day. And if it has rained, it's rained maybe for a little part of the day. It's been very, very rare that I've had days where it's rained throughout the whole day. But it's definitely something that you need to be prepared for. And I would highly suggest, like I said, a disposable rain jacket or rain jacket that you could put in your bag. And I would highly suggest having some nice waterproof shoes for that time. Hmm. Apple Wallet, that's it. I've traveled to those places extensively at that time of year. I always encounter very little rain, but nothing is guaranteed exactly. I mean, usually rainy season is considered as from like the middle of June, I would say, or mid end of June. So I understand you travel with a non-Japanese wife. However, I've been told that sleeping with a living dictionary improves your Japanese. That is what I've been told too. Can use favorites tool to look at accommodation far in advance to find ones. Also, for Japanese phone numbers where SMS capability is the most important service, I'd say two words and won't elaborate anymore. Mobile, Hana, cell. Huh? Toku is Ekinets. Ooh. Hey Gazumi, how you doing? 6:06 a.m. Wow, very early. Akinet is JR East Lines, MAX is JR West and Central. Yeah, um, yeah. Like I said, everybody has their way of doing it. I've even used Klook. I have an affiliate link for Klook, by the way, if you're interested in supporting that way. But and with Klook now, you get the QR code to that you can scan, so it's pretty cool. But like I said, it all depends. This time round, I'll probably get my tickets on the, maybe get two or three tickets at a go and then get the next two or three because I'm a bit scared that I'm gonna lose them all. So 14 days to go. Temps looking good in Kawaguchiko. Nice. 19 to 21. It was really hot. Well, I would say it was really warm last week when I was there, and I was there with Japan Ichiban. We were hanging out there, the lads, the boys. But my understanding is that it got cold again, and rainy and crappy. So it's just that time of year. Even here in Gibraltar, where I live, it's a little bit all over the place. It's been really gloomy and really, really, like, I wouldn't say chilly, but just not very nice today. But yesterday was bright blue skies, beach weather. You could have gone to the beach yesterday easily, but today's been terrible. So just a quick reminder to anybody who's watching, that is that we have any questions, please write question or at Ninja Monkey Guy. Also, obviously, if you do super chat, you get priority and a visit from our friend. Going to Japan for the third time. This time I'm staying in Osaka and Hiroshima, plus visiting Fukuoka for the first time. The exchange rate is £1, 193 yen. Has it got to that rate now? That's pretty cool. That is pretty darn good. Lads. Yeah, I took the lads, and by the lads I mean I took Japan Ichiban, Alan, I took Daniel, and I took Luke to the Star Bar, um, which I've been to quite a lot now. I've probably been to that bar 5 or 6 times at this point. But we were very lucky actually to get some seating in there. It's a pretty cool location, isn't it? At a very fun location in Shinjuku. Hanshin Tigers, psyche of bandmate's favorite team. Yeah, so I'm a Tigers fan, not because I'm a baseball fan, but because I went to a Tigers game 2 years ago in Osaka, and it was so much fun that yeah, I literally became a fan. They lost that game, but they won the league, which was pretty nice, I'd say. So so yeah, anybody have first of all, let's see. We have 16 likes, 18 likes, sorry, but we have 40 or over 40 people watching right now, but we only have 18 likes. So please don't forget to like, because those likes, smash the like button, guys, smash the like button. Now I feel like a real YouTuber. It takes, literally takes no effort on your part. I fly to Hong Kong to Tokyo on Wednesday. Nice. You went to a Tigers game. They're insane. The fans are insane. Pretty darn cool. Cathay a good airline. Um, sorry, I just liked now sorting the dogs. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Even I sometimes forget to like things, and then I go back and I like them. In July, it was 207 to to the pound. That's right, it was. I should have hedged as I knew I'd be back. Go 20,000 at that rate. Should have got 10 times that. Yeah, you know what the problem is? That I was in Japan around that time when the exchange rate was so good, but I just didn't have the money to exchange for the future. So is it expensive? Taking taxis in Kyoto, worried about my mum with all the walking. The question is that if you're worried about your mum with all the walking, um, Kyoto is definitely the city that I would suggest that you factor in some taxi rides. And depending how many of you there are, it can be expensive, obviously, but just factor it in and be a little bit strategic about how and when to get taxis. For example, first of all, Kyoto has a very good bus system that shouldn't be underestimated. So you could, for example, catch the bus early in the morning up to your first location, and try to go, try to do sort of like high ground to walk down, and get taxis when needed. A little bit of planning will be needed if you're worried about your mum. And obviously, take it at your pace. You don't have to rush and do everything. What do you think of the prerequisite registration before that going to Japan? Is that new law good? Ah, the Jester, the Esther thing, no? Well, that's been brought forward to 2028, 2029. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. Really. If it means a faster and smoother like transit through travel, like getting into Japan faster through automatic gates, then Sign me up, sign me up is what I'm gonna say. Ninja Monkey, since I'm flying from Iberian Peninsula, what airline do you feel you get better prices? I usually seriously go on Expedia, put my hotel, my airport, and I just go for whatever the cheapest airline. And I don't think that I think they're all very comparable. I think they're all very similar nowadays when it comes to flight prices. But you need to factor in a few things, and sometimes I pay just that little bit more because of layovers. I don't want to have a layover that's like 16 hours in Frankfurt, for example, you know, and if the difference is $100 or whatever, I would probably pay that difference. Also, I try to go for flights that return on a late night flight, and sometimes that can also affect the price. But I'm gaining on, having extra time in Tokyo, so if everything goes up 30%, I wish the yen would get weaker so we could go up 30% and stay the same. Nathan needs to be liked. It's a phobia. YouTubers suffer from it. It is very true. And currently there are 27 likes, but 39 people watching or something like that. Load up my Wise card last year. Wish I loaded more. Yeah. I mean, this is the problem, right? I mean, if I had all the money in the world, but unfortunately, nope. Anyone walked from Fukuoka Airport into town? It's like 1 mile to my hotel, but Google Maps shows no obvious pedestrian route. I haven't. I haven't flown into Fukuoka actually. I've only done Shinkansen travel to Fukuoka. Um, in fact, actually, because you're gonna be in Fukuoka, where are you gonna be? Hakata? I mean, what part of Fukuoka? Um, yeah, Fukuoka's great for ramen. Jeff, I am. I'm going to be back in about 10 weeks' time, I think it is now. 10 weeks' time. I'll be there as from the 12th of July until the 23rd of August, something like that. So it's going to be a nice, long 6-week trip. I'm going to be traveling across multiple areas of Japan. I'm going to be meeting different people along the way. And hopefully, I'll be able to meet some of you guys whilst I'm there. And it's always nice when somebody spots me. I don't know if you saw my last Tsukiji outer market video that I put out a few days ago. I have the funniest encounter because I caught on camera. I actually caught one of my viewers walking behind me. They heard my voice. They clocked me. They turned around, and you can see their face when they recognize me. They come and they sort of like say hello, and I've got that all of that in on camera. It's pretty nice. It's a very sweet moment, I have to say. Very sweet moment. Hey, you're very very welcome there, Makwa. My first time in Japan. I learned a lot from your videos. Thank you. Thank you. And now it's time for you to share your knowledge with the chat. Have fun with the stream, everyone. No problems. If you can sign up to some airlines to catch any deals. How do we tip you? Hey, Gabriel, you can tip me by liking, but if you want to tip me, you can simply go to you could do super chat on here, for example, or you can use PayPal. I can't remember what the link was. Where was it? It was Ninjas. Hey, I've got a little tip thing here. If you want to use PayPal, I put a little link there. Thanks so much for even considering the tip, Gabriel. Went to Hananian Airlines via Beijing. They were great, very good service, and excellent flight site. Hey, is that the packing guy? It wasn't actually that. It was In fact, it was super cool because they're like, the lady and I can't I mean you need to go and watch that little snippet. It's so fun. Actually, appears in the very beginning of my video as a little sort of highlight. She then calls over her husband and she's like, "This is the guy that inspired our trip. This is the guy that inspired our trip." That was so nice, man. Like somebody in the street actually stopped me because they recognized me, called the husband over and basically said, "Thank you because I inspired the trip." That is freaking amazing, right? Freaking crazy amazing. One thing you can 100% guarantee is no matter how cheap your fare is, that as soon as you lock in the fare, a cheaper one will then pop up. That is a possibility always, Jim. Always a possibility. 6 weeks is great. You can get a lot of marriage proposals in that time. Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's see. Let's see. Konnichiwa. Any onsens near Ueno Station, Kanda Station that I recommend? Actually, Japan Ichiban recommended an onsen that I went to. And where was it? Where was it that you recommended? I've even gone blank right now. I think I'm still a little bit. I mean, I'm over the jet lag, but I think I've still got a little bit of jet lag. Mm, Toshimae. It's. I mean, it's Tokyo. Toshimae is maybe 35 minutes away, 40 minutes away, and that onsen there was pretty nice. And thanks so much for the recommendation there. What's one thing everyone misses about Japan? Minus vending machines. I think convenies and vending machines for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Hakata, I will check out that life changing ramen place. Yes, it's on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram and the like food or whatever. It's a saved sort of post. If I can't, but there's a beer festival on. I need to check that out first. Ooh, giant Gundam statue. Also, really, I didn't know that. Where is the mythical ramen place? On my Instagram. I don't know what have I done with my phone? Okay, this is a bit worrisome. Okay, on my Instagram. Let's see if I can find my Instagram. On my Instagram, which I don't know how to access right now. Um, Basically, if you go onto my Instagram, there's a highlighted thing that says something about the food. The lady from Yorkshire, yeah. The Yorkshire couple, yeah, yeah. They were so cool. And then the funny thing is that later on, that was in the morning. And later on in the afternoon, like quite a lot later on in the afternoon, I bumped into them in Shibuya randomly also. It was so cool. Planning a visit to Uraisu City Folk Museum during my second day arrival. Have you ever been there? I have not, but that looks very cool. I like the different melodies also. Toshimayan, that's right. I saw the video live ninja. I think I sent you and Pearl questions. Maybe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jeff, yeah. Hey, coexist. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much for a super chat there, which means two things. First of all, let's get some confetti. Arigato, and let's get our friend playing some. I need to work something out. Wait, wait. Thank you. I need to come up with a melody that will be like the super chat melody sort of thing. Bear with me. Bear with me. Where's my chat gone? Hey Stevie, thank you so much. I guess people want a little bit of of music. Maybe let's come up with a melody. Let's see. I need to come up with a melody. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you so much. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Oh, the toilets. Actually, that's probably one of the first things that I miss whenever I get to Heathrow Airport or whatever airport I'm flying into. Yeah, the toilets is definitely something that I miss. I think that's right. Pertsa. It's really nice. The onsen's pretty nice for being in Tokyo. Before you were a YouTuber, did customers ever ask you why you go to Japan much? I've only been asked twice in 11 years, so I'm not gonna stress about it. And I was asked once before. I did YouTube content, and now, recently. It was in the Tsukiji Outer Market, so way, by definition, a fishy encounter, but she was happy. Yes, she was happy, and she was lovely. Lovely person. Hello, Ninja. Hello? Wait, Ninja, Hello Kitty, My Melody, or Kuromi. You can have one. Oof. I think. Can I not choose Gudetama? Because I would choose Gudetama. I know it's not on the list, but. Get the JR Lines chimes downloaded. Ooh, yeah. Maybe I should learn some of the chimes of yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Late to the stream, no problem. Traveling Gabriel. Later, better later than never. Nobody misses the squat toilets. That's very true. Niwa no Yu is correct. It's next to the Harry Potter place. Yeah, I streamed around that area. Actually, I did stream around that area before going to the onsen, and I actually spent a good, I want to say over three over 3 hours in the onsen. I was really enjoying it. I even ended up booking the like I hired some swimming shorts so that I could use the swimming pools that they have, which are also heated, by the way. And I used some of the outdoor sort of like jacuzzi area thingies, and I had a little stroll through the Japanese garden. It's really, really nice. Um, and it's very, very local. No tourists there. What's your go-to for getting sport tickets in Japan? I don't get sport. Okay, my go-to is my friends who usually say, "Hey, I've got a spare ticket. Do you want to come?" That's usually my go-to. To be honest, I'm getting Station Chimes keychain from Akihabara next week. Yay! My phone message sound notification is the Yamanote arrival chime. That is such a good idea, actually. Japanese friend was blown away when he heard it. I'm blown away, by the way. It's a great little spot. That onsen, remember, they don't allow tattoos. Yeah, that is true. That onsen, they don't allow tattoos. Just be aware of that. There are other onsen in Tokyo that I'm sure that you could do a little bit of research and that allow tattoos. I want you to try the one in Harajuku or Metosando. Where is it? I think it's Harajuku, the new building. They have an onsen, and also in Toyosu, there's a newish onsen that I'd like to try. So I actually think a lot of non-Asians do miss the squat toilets, literally. Probably, yeah, probably. Yes, that is the Osaka Hanshin Tigers, indeed. I have the Family Mart jingle as my notification and the donkey theme song as my ringtone. I don't know if I would do the donkey ringtone. I mean, Don Quixote is, I love Donkey, but it's sort of like a little bit of a, yeah, it messes with my head. Donkey. My sister has the donkey theme as her ringtone also. Oh, I don't know, man. I'll have to think. I'll have to think. Now that you've got me thinking, I might have to change my phone's ringtone to something a little bit more interesting. The problem is, will it make me miss Japan every single time? I also miss Family Mart egg sandwiches. I had one. I had one recently. It was so good. Why do they have the penguin as a mascot? No idea. I can't get the Yodobashi camera. Camera. Can I do it on this? Do 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 do. I'll have to practice. Not at all. We stayed in Shinamachi on our first few days in Tokyo, and the last night we took a train to Narima and walked back to Ikebukuro. Book of Theme and Jingle. I don't know what the book of. Or maybe I've forgotten. That melody stuck in my head. Nathan, that Exando you had on live stream, street stream is still in my mind. It was pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie. It was exactly what I needed. I sometimes underestimate the power of a good egg sandwich. Tamago sando. To just like it hits a spot with that Pocari Sweat can hit the spot. It was perfect. Perfect. Love. Can you do a tutorial how to book a Shinkansen online with a JR West Regional Pass? Giovanni, it depends on where you purchase the pass. Um, I guess I could potentially do a tutorial in the future. Have you driven in Japan? Yes, I have. We're renting a car to Japan after we leave Tokyo. Never driven there before. A little nervous. William, I drove in Okinawa and it was perfectly fine. It was surprisingly easy. It's an automatic car. Obviously, take it easy. And what I did when I first got, and I was driving on my own by myself with no one. But obviously, when you do get your car, drive around the parking lot a few times, get used to, especially the indicator and the changing, not the changing of the gears, but yeah, just the auto. I'm not used to an automatic. Depends. How do you drive at home? Stick or automatic? I drive stick. So for me, it was a little bit of a getting used to not having a stick. Google it. It's an awesome theme tune. I will have to. The ping on the streets when you cross the road. Indeed. I miss having good, fast, reliable public transport. Yeah, well, I think it's not just about fast and reliable. It's about having frequent public transport because in when you're in Tokyo, and this actually varies depending on where you are in Japan, because I can promise you that there are some places in Japan that do not have fast reliable public transport. When you start going inaka, you start going more like rural areas, you will not get fast reliable. Well, you might get reliable public transport, but it won't be fast and it won't be frequent. But I think that Tokyo, Osaka, for example, those major cities have very good, very frequent. And this is the beauty. The beauty of frequent public transport is that actually last week they were doing some works on the Yamanote line and a lot of the trains were delayed. But even though they were delayed, it didn't have an impact because there was always another train to get on, So, but yeah, egg sandwiches are lovely. Japan sandwiches, two-thirds the size and crust cut off. Renting a motorcycle, that sounds like fun. Breakfast, tamago sando, custard puff, and a can of coffee. Bliss. I don't have my phone on me, dude. This is the problem. My phone I've left somewhere in the house and I don't know where it is right now. So I can't check it right now. Or maybe I can check it remotely. Can I check my phone remotely? I have this like phone mirror thingy that I could do that works 50% of the time on my screen. Let's see. I want to purchase a regional pass via JR West site. It's better to book via Cloak for a foreigner, in your opinion. I think it's better to purchase it wherever it's easier for you. Um, like I said, I do have an affiliate link with Klook where I will get a little commission, but that shouldn't stop you from getting whatever you find is easier. Look at both websites, see which one works for you. Come on. I think I left the phone in the kitchen. I mean, it's. I bought two regional rail passes for my forthcoming trip, and they sent me a 20% off voucher for anything apart from Disney. I used it on Ghibli Park. Wow. Did you use my affiliate link? Exactly. Oh man, Mr. Yamanote line. Relax. Next one is in 2 minutes. Indeed. Basically, you're right. I flew back with Anna, on Nippon Airways from um Haneda Terminal 2 to Munich. And oh my goodness, the leg room and the yeah, Anna is just top class for economy flying. Totally. Hmm. I love watermelon shaved ice when it's hot out there. I love things like that also when it's hot there. I've never used the Yamanote line. I made 1,500 yen, 72-hour Tokyo Metro pass guy to get around crazy cheap. Um, you know what? I did this thing with Luke from Nomadic Gaijin in Japan, Luke, where he got the Metro Pass and I purchased tickets individually as we needed, and it ended up only being 300 yen difference, something like that, overall, compared to having the pass. It's a saving of 300 yen, but it's not really a saving of 300 yen because you are very much locked to using, the metro and not using some of the JR lines, which means that you potentially miss out on time is money. You know what they say? So, but yeah, I've rented a car from Oryx. I use Oryx also. Driving in rural Japan is great. Low speed limits, averages 50 kilometers an hour. Yes, Kazumi. This is why I drove in in um in Okinawa. I don't have a video on eSIM versus Pocket Wi-Fi. Actually, I don't. Klook is great. Just remember that when you do use Klook, that you can use my affiliate link to. Do I have my affiliate link here? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So there we have an affiliate link there for Klook, and it will take you to the app. The only difference is that I'll get a little commission when you use it. I'll leave that up there for a little bit. Yo, how are you doing? I've also rented a car from Nissan Direct. It was great driving in Japan, but I'm from the UK. I'm a very confident driver. With original pass bought on Klook, I can book Shinkansen in advance from my country. I'm not very sure about the regional passes. This is a thing. A lot of the regional passes don't allow you to book things in advance unless you're in Japan. Ooh. I'm not gonna say it's not great, but you have to go around Yamanote the whole. It's epic, and you get train races. Yeah, the train races are pretty cool and great views of Tokyo. Yeah. Circle the Yamanote line. Awesome. How long should it take to deboard a plane at Haneda, clear customs, and collect bags? We have allowed an hour, booked bus an hour after arrival to get to Disney. Wow. Um, I mean, I think an hour is doable, but I think that I would probably, give myself 1 hour and 20 minutes to be safe. Currently planning my first trip to Japan in 2026. At the moment, can't decide where to stay in Tokyo for the first week between Akihabara and Shimbashi. Which one of these two areas would you recommend to stay? Um, you know what? They're both good areas. What works for you, really? And what's your plan whilst you're in Tokyo? If you're just going to be, traveling around Tokyo, then either will be a good location. If you're planning on doing day trips out of Tokyo, then you might want to consider staying actually somewhere like Shinaga, well, Tokyo Station for the Shinkansen, and access to other locations, or even Shinjuku, and Ueno for the access to the Shinkansen. But if you're not going to be using Shinkansen during that time, then either are pretty good locations if you're happy with them. And obviously, it all depends on what your interests are, right? The 4th of May, there's a great music festival in Shimokitazawa. Loads of bands in different bars all over town. It's about 4,000 yen. Nice. Nice. Do, 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 do. I'm going to visit Osaka, Kyoto, Kobe, and Hiroshima in August. Do you think it would be hard to book Shinkansen once in Japan because of over-tourism? Absolutely not. There's so many Shinkansens, like every few minutes of the Shinkansen. Just if you want to book a specific time of a Shinkansen, then book it the night before or a few days before, but overall you'll be fine, seriously. I love Shimokitazawa too. If your regional pass was from JR West area, I think when purchased from the website, you can also make train reservations when doing the purchase. Cool. 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 Right. So, guys, any last questions? I am going to start ending the stream shortly. So, if you do have any last questions, please let me know. Um, J-pop band. I mean, if you're interested in J-pop stuff, then I don't know. I'm not a J-pop person really that much. But Shimoki Tozawa might be good. Shibuya, maybe also. Shimoki Tozawa is bad for, well, that's easy. Ikebukuro is very, very well located. But like I said, it all depends on whether you need Shinkansen access or not. If you're gonna be using Shinkansen to get out, then you need to consider where to stay. But yeah, we saw a J-pop band in Odaiba next to the Gundam. There was a small stage there. I've seen actually a J-pop thing in Ueno, and there's a little stage next to the pond, and I saw something going on there also. In Yoyogi also, I'm pretty sure I saw like a little pop up thing there, which was pretty cool. Very cool actually. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Um, but I just want to say thank you to those of you who have supported, and we've had support from Jim Ross, arigato gozaimasu. Gabriel, thank you so much. Coexist and Steve West, thank you so much for your support in super chats. And if anybody has supported me through PayPal, I haven't seen any notifications because I don't have my phone. But if you have, arigato gozaimasu. Thank you so much for your support. As always, keep an eye on my latest updates and check out my latest update videos, etc. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. It's been a little bit of a short one, but I do feel like I'm a little bit jet lagged. I think I'm pretty much. I think tonight will hopefully be the last of my jet lag. But yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Stay positive. Be a happy gaijin. Thanks all.